The most common question I get is, who are you? And simply I look at them and sometimes I don't know how to answer. But let's break it down. This is who I am. BRE the rapper.
So, what is up, everybody? I am here with the one and the only BRE the rapper. She just released her debut album, which is popping and still going up on the charts, titled I Am. Amazing body of work. And I just want to dig into a little bit of who she is and why she decided to release this beautiful body of work. So, let's bring in the one and the only BRE the rapper. Hey, how are you? Good seeing you. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, doing very blessed.
Yes. So let's talk about music. You are a female rapper. We don't really need to put female in front of that, anyways, because you are a rapper, and there really shouldn't be any titles with that, except that. So you just released an album, am I correct?
Yes, that is true.
And it is titled I Am. Is that correct?
Yes, that is also true.
So let's talk about what did it mean to you when you released this body of work, and what did you want people and your fans to take from this?
Pause. Let's start from the beginning. I grew up in what most people would call a very strict Christian based home. You go to church every Sunday or in our church every Friday night, sometimes Sunday night, and you're taught to do these things and these morals and live the way that a Christian would live. Do the things, be a good person and all the basics. And I feel like it took me growing up to realize that it's more than that, and it's more than just who I am. It's more than the little girl I was singing in the choir. Now, I'm all grown up. I think my sophomore year of high school is when I realized I really wanted to do music and be a rapper. Um, it all came, I feel like, just so random, but it felt like that was meant for me. I started performing at school events, and I had so many of my friends support me, and even BSU, Black Student Union, and my teacher, Miss Bryan and Miss Moore, they all supported me in knowing what I wanted to do and helping carrying out that dream. After I graduated high school, that is when the music started taking off. My sister bought me my first studio time, and it was the best experience I had ever had. It was so new, it was so fresh. I felt like I was finally doing something in my life that I loved, that I appreciated, and that I felt like I was meant to do. Then, after I recorded my first song called Run Up a Check, I did my first music video. And it was one of the best experience I remember because it was so new and I was so ready to just get in the game and go.
When I released it, I basically called it I Am because it's about who I am. And so basically it's really just what the title means, I am. When I want people to listen to it, it just take away, life lessons, morals, getting through this, getting through that, even just having fun, because not every song has to be like getting through a storm in the weather. Like some songs can be fun. So it's really just an overall package of who I am. So
And that's really dope, because when you listen to an album, you always want to know, what does it mean, where does it come from, and how can I relate to it. So let's dig a little bit into your childhood, because I feel like with this album, what did it have to do anything correlate with your childhood? Did it have to do anything with you growing up? Talk about you growing up and just that experience for you, and what were you dealing with during this whole time from now to the time of the release?
Well, to start off, most of the songs I would say put kind of like a lit spin on like going through stuff. And so as a child, like I grew up in a very Christian based household, you know, where it's like you have to do this, you have to do that. Like there's certain things you do and there's certain things you don't do. And so with this album, I really wanted to break the rules, break the boundaries, and just completely be myself, you know, because I know people be putting us in a box, none of that. So I really just wanted to like embody the person who I am becoming, and not the person who I was, because let's be honest, the past is in the past and the future is coming close. So we want to look to the future, not to the past, you know, so it's really just about moving forward and being who I presently am. So yeah.
And I just feel like that's really dope, because a lot of times we want to know the moral behind what the artist is doing and what it's really about. So, what is this your first body of work, or why the album now? Why in 2020? Why not in 2019? Why now? What led you to feel like this is the time now to release this album?
Well, you know, they say everything happens right when it's supposed to. And so I was already planning on releasing an album like literally about 2 years ago. It didn't happen.
This is actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is so funny because I was just going through her old, she don't even know probably about this Instagram. It's something about like white gold or something you were doing. And I remember her saying like a couple years that she was going to release this other album titled something else, and then I'm like, oh, where's it at? You know, so I know for sure this has been something you've been working on. But back to what you were saying.
Really just like, yeah, I always like wanted to release an album, and like it seemed like time after time it was like, no, it's not gonna happen, no, it's gonna happen, I don't have the money for the studio, this or the studio was closed and COVID, and then all these other things happened. And then like it seemed like just right when I needed to, everything started falling in line when it should have. So I really just know that it was in God's planning and everything worked out the way that it was supposed to, even though I wanted to have it at this time or this time. Yes. I just know you guys got it when you're supposed to, and it came out when it was supposed to. So that's all that matters, okay?
Yes, and don't forget to stream that song Pressure that I'm on. Self-promo. So let's dig in a little bit more. Let's talk about who is really Bree. Mm-hmm. You released this beautiful album, but a lot of people want to know, like, who is this artist? What does she like to do in her time, and who is she like outside of, you know, rapping? Like, what is she really into? Because sometimes your main lifestyle can correlate to your music, or your lifestyle don't correlate to it. So let's talk about really who you are, and just stuff that we don't know about you that you do in your off time, and just, you know, how do you manage everything?
Well, first off, I want to say that when you're figuring out who you are, it's something that constantly changes. So even though 5 years ago I might have known who I was, you're still developing into the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? There is no like indefinite, this is who I am, because you're always changing. But I definitely say I am definitely God first. Like that's above everything, right? I do feel like I am a family person. When it comes to friends, DJ knows they hold me down. I hold him down. It's an ongoing thing. Besides the music, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I film and make beats here and there. Don't pull up any because they're probably not that good, but I do what I can when I will. And yeah, I'm a little bit of everywhere at the moment. And I know that's like really hard for people to grasp sometimes, because like, oh, you do this, you build this, you ride bikes, you do this. And it's like, what? But I really do almost do it all. So it's, you know, it's a blessing.
It is. We're going to switch topics a little bit. So not that many people know, but our favorite rapper, I don't want to say almost didn't make it, but was just in a life-changing accident in a way. And it really changed her, and her friend was there with her. And so we really just talk about what were you thinking when you went through that moment, like, oh my God, I just got into this accident, or, you know, maybe this wasn't the thing, but like how were you feeling that time, and what brought you through it? You know what I'm saying? Because I know the reports were saying that you had several injuries and stuff like that. So talk about what that was, and were you like, oh my God, is this the end? What happened?
Well, I will say, for those of you that don't know, I did get into a car accident literally like the day before my birthday on my way to Lake Tahoe. And I totaled my car, and I would just say, like, it is an experience I didn't think I would ever go through. And it definitely taught me a lot about just like living life in general, like just slowing down. It don't matter if you're on the freeway or the residential street, just slow down and just live life for what it is. And it was like very traumatizing because you hear people all the time like, oh, I got into this car accident, I'm traumatized, and you're like, oh yeah, I hear you, but then until you're really in it, you don't really understand it, and then when you go through it, it's like, I understand it. So I'm really just blessed to be here, and my friends to be here and to support me and everything. So it's really just a blessing still to be here. So yeah.
Yes. And I know we're going to definitely, wrap this up in a little bit. So just what do you want your fans and what do you want the people out there to really take away from who, again, Be Either Rapper is, and what do you want them to feel and how can they, do we have any tours coming up? Do we have any shows? I'm going to let you just talk about that and really close off in a way. This is the first segment about how we can stay connected and what's next for you as an artist.
I've had so much going on in my life in the past ever since I've graduated, it's been hard to focus. Deshawn has been one of the people who has had my back since the start. In every video I needed to film, every time we talked on the phone, or even if it was just going to church, he has been such a great friend. It's almost like hard to comprehend. For me going to the studios and going here and going there and asking him to film videos for me filming videos for him, us working and collabing with each other. Like, it's been such a blessing to have him as a friend. I think that he brings such a wholesome piece to the friendship that it could not be replaced. He could not never be replaced. And his work ethic, his brand, his motivation, his morals, the way he carried out himself, it pushes me so hard to know that. And that's why I love him. My friends have made me the person that I am. And I know there's been so many fights and arguments and just horrible moments and moments I wish would have never happened. But there's also been so many good ones.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Setting up, so Rick can get the recording going on and everything. I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? She the one bugging, you know what I'm saying? So don't come to me with all that.
Important to say, because me and Danae had been friends for over 8 years. And she had taught me so many things. I had taught her so many things. And, unfortunately, things happen, you know what I'm saying? And even though we're not, the way things would have played out probably would have ended up much different. Because at the end of the day, me and her were like inseparable for like 8 years. I think that the important thing is that the moving forward part. Because of course anything could happen with anybody at any time. But it's how you move forward, and you know what I'm saying? Not just in friendships, in family, in relationships, in life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta move forward, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Same way I make mistakes, everybody else makes mistakes. And so for that, you know what I'm saying? For the friendship, I do thank her for that. I think the death of my grandma had a bigger impact on me than I ever would have expected. And it didn't happen, right after she died. It happened like progressively after, where I just felt, like, man, why? And I had to realize that all things go, and that you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward.
Well, I definitely will say there is a lot next. So if you're keeping up with me now, stay even more connected, because there's a lot coming. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be a tour, a summer tour. We don't know. I don't know if it's going to be another 2-3 albums this year. I don't know, but you guys have to really stay tuned. But I will say stay connected and stay tuned, because I just want to say a lot of like underground artists, they always get slept on, or oh, they fell off, or they had one good song and that was it. But no, it's really about staying consistent. So if you're an underground artist out there, or not a mainstream even yet, like, stay consistent, stay true to who you are, be yourself, live your life, and be you. And that's it.
You want my success, but laugh every time it it comes around. Ha. Can you still see me? A new check every week. Can you still see me? I'm racing success. You want it so bad. Not really my bag. Go run for the bag and see if you sad. Go ask my dad. I feel it's bad.
We going up. No stopping us now.